Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Connecticut Creek Quail. We're out here in the quail barn this morning. I wanted to take you through a quick review and rundown of the 9.5 Hatching Times Brooder that I picked up about a week ago. I got it put together this weekend. We got about 2 or 3 dozen jumbo Coternics in the incubator, and we're about ready to load those things up. Lockdown should be Thursday. We're about ready to get these things moved over to the brooder. I'm pretty excited about that. So I was going to do this little rundown this morning. Just a quick side note, I'm not getting paid by Hatching Time to do this review. I haven't got paid by them to do this review. This is just going to be me giving my honest opinion and my thoughts about the brooder so far. Obviously, when we get some birds in that thing, we'll probably give you an update and let you know how they're doing as we move forward. For assembly, I went over to the Hatching Times, hatchingtimes.com, went over to their website. They have a pretty good assembly video. It's pretty easy to follow along with. The instructions were pretty clear. The video was easy to follow, so I did like that part pretty well. So let's get this thing moved over. Again, I'm not fancy. I'm not going to be doing any fancy cuts or anything, so I'm just going to pick up the camera. We're going to move it over here and kind of go through it step by step, so bear with me. All right, so here's the brooder. It is the new 9.5 brooder from Hatching Times. Like I said, for the assembly, I went over to Hatching Times website. That was super easy. You can see right here is the outside of the heating elements right here. I've got the top one turned on for you. The bottom one is off at this time, but you can see first thing you might notice is the temperature and the thermostat. It reads Celsius, so you will need to convert that over to Fahrenheit. Pretty simple on-off switch right here. It does control the light at the same time. You can see there's a light bulb in there, and that's one thing that I wish it was a little bit different. As far as the heating element itself, it seemed pretty robust. It seemed very heavy. I liked the way like the way it was built. It seems like it was built pretty strong. So, and it goes all the way through. I'll show you on the bottom here. It goes about 2/3 of the way through. That way the chicks can get out from under it pretty easy if they want to. But again, this is the heating element. You can see right inside right there, that's the sensor. Pretty easy, just slides into the cutout right there, and it's super easy. All right, it sits on the racks inside there. I like the way that was really set up. This is a double stack cage. It comes in, I believe, a triple stack and either also a quad stack, but they do send some of these nice little feeders, and this is a water here. They send I believe 4 waters and 6 feeders. Here's a look at the little feeder right here. You can see it comes with the little grate and a little tray there to keep the waste down. So that's a pretty nice touch right there. They send those along. So you get again, you get 4 waters and 6 feeders, so you can divide those up and spread them out all over the cage. So that part's pretty nice. It has the floor mats that also come with it. See if I can get one of these up here. It's got the plastic floor mat. Should be really easy to clean, and you can see underneath, as the chicks get a little bit older, underneath right there, they have the normal grading. Looks to be 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch normal floor grading there. So you can take that mat out as the chicks grow up a little bit, and that's pretty nice right there. You can see on the top of this one where I kind of plan on putting my first young chicks, put them here in the top. You can see I've already covered the floor mat with some drawer liner right there to be a little bit easier on their feet while they're getting stronger and growing just a little bit. And then I'll eventually move them down to the bottom level, or either clean out that top level. It just depends on what I've got in the incubator and what's coming. But that's my plan right now. One of the things that I did want to mention, you can see I've got it turned up. I've been kind of playing with the temperature a little bit, and you can see I've got it turned, it's set on about 35 Celsius. The inside temperature of this top one is sitting at 106 right now. I can turn that down a little bit. I'm just really trying to get the feel. It seems to me, obviously heat rises, but as this bottom layer heats up, the heat rises up, and I think it's helping to heat this top layer a little bit as well. So you need to keep that in mind, that if you've got the bottom layer turned on, that top layer may be affected a little bit. So I would not just simply put a mark on here and say, okay, if I hit here, my top layer is going to get 99, because I think the bottom layer is definitely going to affect the temperature of the top layer if you've got that bottom layer running. So I would just advise you to kind of keep that in mind, that bottom layer temperature could affect the top layer as it turns on and off. So got the watering system here. It was pretty easy to assemble. I did think it was a little bit small, especially these things are built to add on, so I could add on some grow out pins, or I could add on some lay-in pins or something like that. And obviously I'd have to upgrade my water system. Seems like it'd be pretty easy to just add a bucket system to it, or you could go on Hatch Times and purchase an upgraded a little bit bigger water tank for it too. So again, I talked about the light, the switch here on the side for the thermostat. It also controls the light. I kind of wish those were separate. Kind of wish we had a separate switch, so we could put the chicks in the dark if we needed to make them rest a little bit easier. It's got the clean out trays. They're pretty nice. They're fairly deep, and I don't see any issues with those at all. Once those mats get out, the normal clean out, it'll be a normal clean out routine. Some of the cons. So the aluminum rods that you have to slide in, I don't know if you can see them right there. They're right there, but it's for the basically the frame. Holds the cages to the frame itself. Those little things we slide in the rods are called mollies, and they're basically just a plastic anchor, something like you would anchor something into a wall with. I'll say this, when I was putting it together, these things, those mollies that you put in there, if you put one of these legs on wrong, that molly is not coming out without tearing it up. Thankfully, I had a few extra that were thrown in the pack, and so I was able to get the leg on the right way. That's excuse me, that was my fault. But I just wanted to let you know, before you tighten those things down, make sure that you've got the legs the way they need to go, and you don't have them upside down, because if you have to pull them out, it sure does make things a little bit difficult. You can see there's 4 screws for each level there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was one thing I noticed. And they're very difficult to get tight. It's when they say, you know, use a pair of vice grips or a grippy to hold those metal rods, they mean it. So definitely I would advise having a pair of good vice grips there, so you can get a good grip on that rod. If not, it's just going to spin in your hand. So the watering cups was probably my biggest issue. I'll show you this one right here. They were all put together wrong. All right, so this little flapper, it should be underneath. That's got that top flapper right there has to be in contact with the nipple there. And the way these things were assembled, every one of them was on the top just like this. So I had to take all of them apart. You can see I've got the pin kind of pulled out of this one so I could show you. I had to take all of them apart and basically put the nipple, put this piece underneath the flap so it could contact the nipple and actually fill the drinker up. Another thing with this particular one, if my finger is the water rail that's inside there, you can see it is not going to hang correctly, right? It's going to be, the chick's going to be not able to even get to the water because that water rail with the nipples on is covering up the actual drinker itself. So this needs to be oriented the other way. This top piece needs to be turned, and I'll show you. Let me cut this light off so it's easy to see. Now, I don't know if you can see or not, but this right here is oriented wrong. Let me get it. If I put it on this water rail right there at the nipple, it's going to be turned sideways, and that's a no-go right there. It needs to be like this, and you can see that it will not fit over the water rails. So, and you can see, you can get a good look right there that at that piece is supposed to contact the nipple. Like I said, all of them came put together. They look just like this. So I had to take all those apart and fix them. And then this water cup right here, it's not even going to work for what I need to do. So I got to get with customer service and ask them to send me the proper oriented watering cup. So the next thing, kind of a con for me, was and we'll start down below, the grill cover, or not the grill covers, the feed trough grill covers. I had to trim these ends off right here. All right, right here and right here, because it would not fit down in the trough. This grill was too long, and those tabs right there at the end were hitting on both sides, and it wouldn't fit down in there at all. So I trimmed those off, had to trim those off. And then kind of the same thing right here. This is the feed cover, and when you put these together, they come in 3 pieces, and then it's got these little attachment pieces that they just clip right into. Well, right here you can see I had to trim that tab off right there, because with 2 tabs on each piece, they would not go, it would not squeeze together to go in this fitting enough, and it wouldn't snap in. So I had to trim one off this side and one off this side. It still left me 1 tab to clip in, and I also had to trim, it had tabs on each one of these down here. I had to trim those off so it would go down into the tray itself. This one right here is set up for adult birds, I do believe, and all you do is roll it over and you can kind of set it up for the chicks. You can see right here the way it is oriented now. It's closed. The chicks can't get into the feed tray, and they'll learn to feed from the smaller feed troughs that are on the inside. Once the bird grows up, you flip it over like it is here, and then the adult birds can access pretty easily down through the grate there. But I did have to trim those nipples off to make it work, and then you just slide it back in there and it falls right down, and it's the way it needs to be. It's perfect that way. So that's really my thoughts on the whole thing. Overall, I think it's a pretty good unit, especially for somebody just starting out. I wanted to get it and try it because it'll take a lot of the work out of maybe a homemade brooder. Everything's automated. Everything's gonna be monitored for you. The temperature goes on and off like it should. But we got to throw some chicks in it to give it a good trial run. But that's the video. If you got any questions, I know we had some people on my channel say that they've had some issues with the cold weather, and how some of the water system may crack and break or bust from cold weather. We've had some people say that the water rail's busted. We've had some people saying that the whole water system froze up and flooded everything. So if you've got any feedback or anything you want to add, please go to the comments and let us know what you think. We're all in this together, so hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and tell me what you think. Thank you. Have a great day.